In recent months, the Belize Coast Guard has been in the news not so much for carrying out their mandate, but for unfortunate incidents that have brought into question the character of some of the Coast Guard men and women, as well as the leadership of what has always been considered an elite and extremely disciplined unit of the country's national security. The most recent situation includes the detention of 5 Coast Guard men for the 3 men missing at sea. Deputy Commander of the Belize Police Coast Guard, Elton Bennett, spoke on this incident.
It relates to the detention of the Coast Guard men in relation to the investigation that's been done by the police as relates to the 3 missing men out at sea. The information reached the police, and the police had asked us for certain information, which we provided to them. We gave them all the necessary information for them to conduct their investigation. We have nothing to cover. We will cooperate completely with the police. As a result of that, the police pinpoint some personnel from the Coast Guard whom they had in detention last week and did their questionings. I believe that all 5 men were released a few days ago.
Deputy Commander Bennett assured the public and families of the 3 missing men that the Belize Coast Guard has been professional in all encounters with the 3 men, despite their repeated offenses.
We don't retaliate. We are a professional organization. It is true we've had 2 recent incidents with one of the same individual. And the Coast Guard was very professional in handling those 2 incidents, one of which we charged one of the individual for firing at the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard did not return fire. They detained the persons professionally, brought them in and charged them accordingly. The most recent case, the Coast Guard again went to one of the fishing camp of those individuals and found the firearm. Again, we handled the situation professionally, handed them over to police for prosecution. So yes, we've had run-ins with those individuals, but I don't see the Coast Guard or any individual in the Coast Guard taking it to the extent of having anything personal against those men. We've always handled those 3 in particular professionally, and we've shown that we've done so. But if there is an indication or any information at all that we may, or personnel in the Coast Guard may be involved, then we hand it over to the police for them to investigate, and that is exactly what happened over the past few days. We decided, look, we called in the police and said, this is what we have. We prefer for it not to be rumored or wrong, and let's do a proper investigation to find out the facts. And if that is the case, if there are personnel involved, then I'm sure the police and the Coast Guard will facilitate that investigation.
The second incident entails the arraignment of officers for the offenses of extortion as a result of a sting operation carried out in northern Belize.
That investigation again is being conducted by the police. I was made to understand it was a sting operation that the police launched in the Consejo area. That's an area where the Coast Guard is operationally based along with the Customs Department, and we conduct joint patrolling and joint operations in that area. So it was an unfortunate incident where the 3 Coast Guard men allegedly got involved with extortion, and I think the police did an operation and apprehended the 3 men. They were brought in, charged, and I believe that they are now out on bail. And as it relates to that particular case, I know that there's a criminal case, but we will also mirror that internally as well to ensure that we maintain our level of discipline.
So in the meantime, those men are on interdiction?
We're in the process of having them interdicted. That takes a few days to get done, but that's the plan for them to be interdicted because they were charged.
Love News asked the Deputy Commander to comment on the recent incidents and the negative light cast upon the Belize Coast Guard.
It's very unfortunate, but to say it's the vetting process, not necessarily. The Coast Guard has grown over time. We've had increased numbers, increased personnel, and with that brings different character into the organization. But we are responsible for the organization, trying to keep that image and trying to ensure that we maintain that professional posture. So we cannot pinpoint and say what exactly is the cause of the most recent incidents. They're all isolated different incidents, but severe breaches of discipline in most cases. It takes good leadership to keep the organization together, to keep the men focused, and of course to have good military structure in such a way as leadership is responsible for everything.
An intake of the Belize Coast Guard in training, and those 50 persons will graduate in November of 2015.